Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. So we are going to be talking about chapter 2 of the Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And if you're wondering what the heck we are talking about, watch our first episode and you will find out. And the reason why we aren't talking about chapter 1 is because in that first video we've already discussed basically what chapter 1 says, and it's the introduction basically of what the book is going to be talking about. So yeah, let's get started on chapter 2.
So chapter 2 is Mr. Fix-It and the Home Improvement Committee. So when we read this chapter, it talks about how the man wants to fix everything. So if there's a broken cabinet, he wants to fix it. If there's basically any issues, he wants to fix it. Whether by saying it's not, oh, the issue you're having is not a big deal and these are the reasons why, trying to fix it. And then there's a Home Improvement Committee, which this book states that Venusians, which are women, and that they try to improve the men into becoming better people. So when we read this chapter, we realized that she is neither Home Committee or Mr. Fix-It, and we realized that I am both Mr. Fix-It and Home Committee.
To go much in more depth of what Mr. Fix-It is, it's like the woman comes home with like an issue and she kind of just wants to talk about it, and he's like, oh, you should do this and you should do that, and she doesn't really state specifically like, hey, I just want to talk about it. And that's kind of where the issue lies, is that, you know, men try to fix everything, every single issue that the woman has. It's like he needs to find a solution for it, and sometimes that's not the case, you know. Sometimes it's the case that just sit, listen, and just be like, okay. And an example is that sometimes at the beginning, you don't do this anymore. I came with an issue about my grade, I think.
She would come in and say like, oh, I got a bad test grade or something, and me wanting for her to feel better, I would say, oh, like, are you doing like too much around the house? Like, do you more time to study? Are you studying enough? How many hours are you studying? What are you doing in your spare time? Trying to find a solution in order to prevent another bad grade from happening to her, because I don't like to see her in that state when she gets a bad grade, because getting a bad grade doesn't feel good.
And that's from like the Mars perspective. It's not like, oh, they're telling you what to do. They're trying to solve it and try to prevent it from happening.
It's just coming from a place that you don't want to see someone suffer, and since you love them, you're trying to not undermine their feelings, but you're just trying to help prevent the situation from happening again, and you're doing your best to offer your services, which in the book says that women hate. It doesn't make sense, but at the end of the day, it's what they want, so they just want you to listen, not say anything, and just say, yeah, that's rough.
Because the thing is, the women from Venus, they usually, so a little backstory is that men lived on Mars and women lived on Venus, and in that planet of Venus, you know, women would just talk to each other and complain. No one tried to fix anything, no one tried to say anything. If you think about it, that's how women are sometimes, you know. They just kind of want to talk about their issues. They don't want anybody to fix it, and that's what this chapter is coming from. Like, women sometimes just want to talk because in the planet of Venus, that's what they did. And
a way to look at it from a Mr. Fix-It perspective is you are helping way more by just sitting there and listening than to give your own input. So the way to fix that scenario, when your woman comes and complains, or your man, just sit down, listen, say, that's rough, buddy, and
just go along with it.
And don't try to fix it.
But it also does help when a woman does go in and it's like, hey, I just want you to listen, you know?
Yes.
I'm just gonna talk about my issues and just please listen. You don't need to fix the issue, just listen. Yeah.
Both sides should be understanding.
Mm-hmm. And it's also about understanding, you know, it's like...
And communicating what you want. Because sometimes a man wants to please a woman, or a woman wants to please a man, and it doesn't happen because they're trying to fix each other.
Yes. And then when it comes to the home improvement committee, what women try to do, they give unsolicited advice. Like what I used to do whenever you would drive. And I would be like, wait, slow down. And you're just like, I'm not even going that fast. Like, what are you talking about?
Should backseat drive, be a backseat driver.
Don't do it anymore. I've controlled it.
Telling me to stop at a stoplight.
Yeah.
Telling me to turn right when I have my right turn signal on.
Yes. And it's really something that takes practice on giving unsolicited advice. But you know, it is annoying. No, it is really annoying. It's like having...
In the car it is.
I just imagine, you know, my mom sitting in the car with me. She's like, why are you driving so fast? And I'm going the speed limit.
Yeah, that's how it was.
But it takes a lot of practice to not give unsolicited advice and understanding from, you know, from men. You know, instead of getting angry, they could possibly just give a gentle reminder, like, hey, could you please not give advice? Like, I know what I'm doing. Please just trust me that I am driving well.
I had a reminder multiple times, like, hey, please trust what I'm doing. You do not need to give me advice unless I ask for it.
But it's very gentle, you know, nothing like,
yeah, I mean,
stop doing that.
I'm not screaming at you, I'm just reminding you, like,
but you know,
I want you to just trust me.
Some men do that, you know, they're like, stop it, like, this is making me pissed off, and they get angry about it.
Men and women.
Men and women, but you know, it's also the women also need to understand that you don't need to tell your partner what to do all the time.
No.
Especially when it comes to driving, you know. I mean, I feel like that's a very... I guess if you don't live in the U.S., you don't really have an issue with driving.
Depends.
I guess you would drive. But yeah, that's the example that, you know, most people can relate to the most with, is when it comes to driving. So for this chapter, we took it into our own hands, and I do not backseat drive anymore. I just think sometimes I just ignore it. I'm just like, you know what? If you get lost, then you know, we get lost. And it happens. And you've also learned that he's also done a really, really, really good job of trying not to fix my solutions. My issues.
I just learned to stop caring.
You don't care about me? You don't care?
No, because like the initial reaction is like, since you care, you want to try to like offer solutions to the problem. But the trick is just to not care. That's the real trick.
I mean, that's true. I mean, unless you should also, women also need to discuss sometimes that, like, hey, I need your advice on something. I guess you could say it that way. You know, if you really need advice, say, hey, I need advice on this issue, da 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 da. And then I guess that gives them the signal that, okay, I can help now. But it's also a good start to kind of remind your partner that, hey, I just want advice for now. I just want to talk for now, and if you could just listen, that would be great. Yeah?
A trick, because I remember she used to get angry at me at this, is she would say, sometimes I want you to fix my problem, sometimes I want you to just listen. And you should know when to do each one.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I can't read what's in her head. I can't read anyone's head. I'm not a psychic.
But this goes into another chapter, though. I guess they all interlink. They're right.
They all interlink.
That's true.
But the point is, don't expect your partner to know exactly what you need 100% of the time. Sometimes you need to tell your partner, I need advice, or I just need someone to listen.
Yeah.
And that goes with both parties, because no one can mind read.
Yes. Unless you're just that kind of couple, but I've never met a couple that's like, oh yeah, here's this, here's that, you know?
I don't know I've never met anyone who can mind read.
Okay, I wasn't talking about it. I've never like that either.
So it just...
But yes, that is chapter 2. It is Mr. Fix-It and Home Improvement Committee. And hopefully this advice helps. Or if you guys do want to buy the book and discuss it with us in the comments, that'd be great. We really enjoyed the book though. I feel like it's gone through a lot of things that help us understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of chapters that really help. And I guess there's a lot of chapters that couples don't really recognize that's an issue. So that's about it for chapter 2 for Mr. Fix-It and the Home Improvement Committee. Please make sure to comment down below any questions and any comments that you guys have. And if you guys want to message me privately, I will be linking my Instagram down below, so you guys can feel free to DM me. And along with that, I will put the link to this book in case you guys want to read it. So thank you for watching chapter 2. Bye.
DM her, like, if you want, like, advice or anything that wasn't discussed. Because you didn't say why they would DM you.
Oh. What he said. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys on episode 3, which is... oh wow, chapter 2 seems to last. Men go to their caves and women talk. So we will see you guys then. Bye!